there, my ring-collecting, speedrunning champions! Today we're diving headfirst into the whirlwind world of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Strap on your power sneakers because we're not just breaking through the sound barrier, we're shattering the myth barrier too. We're here to zoom through this iconic game's creation, all while dodging those pesky badniks of misinformation. Get ready for a ride through gaming history that's as fast-paced as Sonic himself.
Sonic, wake up! Our latest game just got a 93 on Metacritic!
What? Tails, what are you talking about? People like our games about as much as they like Knack the Weasel.
Who?
Knack the Weasel. He's one of our lame friends like Cream the Rabbit, Rouge the Bat, Big the Cat, Tickle the Echidna, Blaze the Cat.
When Sonic the Hedgehog 2 kicked off its development, Sega was under immense pressure to outdo themselves, giving the smash success of the original Sonic game. Imagine the weight of creating the next big thing when your first act was a blockbuster. Yeah, no pressure, right? Well, the development team, led by legendary Fuji Naka, faced exactly that, and oh boy, did they level up. Yuji Naka, alongside artist Naoto Oshima and designer Hirokazu Yasuhara, formed the core team that had birthed the Sonic universe. But for the sequel, Sega took a bold step. They moved Naka and Yasuhara to Sega Technical Institute in the US. This cross-cultural team-up was not just a blend of minds, but a fusion of creative spirits from Japan and the US, setting the stage for a game that was literally built from a global perspective. The goal? To innovate without losing the essence of what made Sonic, well, Sonic. And that was speed. This led to the introduction of Tails, the two-tailed fox who would become Sonic's sidekick. Born from the concept of a cooperative play feature, Tails was designed by Yasushi Yamaguchi, initially as a part of an internal competition. Despite some resistance, the character was so well conceived that he stuck, adding a whole new layer to the gameplay and the Sonic lore. Development wasn't without its hurdles though. The team faced technical challenges, like creating smoother and more diverse animations within the confines of the Genesis hardware. They pushed the console to its limits, experimenting with new techniques for faster rendering and more expansive levels. This pursuit led to the creation of the iconic spin dash move, allowing Sonic to rev up and blast off from a standstill, adding a strategic twist to the speedrunning gameplay. And then there was the time constraint. Sega wanted the game ready for a holiday release, putting the team on a crunch that would make today's deadlines look like a walk in Green Hill Zone. The pressure was intense, but it bonded the team, leading to a product that wasn't just a game, but a statement. Behind the scenes, not everything was rings and power-ups though. The cultural and work style differences between the Japanese and American teams led to some friction. There were disagreements on design aspects, game mechanics, and even character developments, which, while challenging, ultimately enriched the game, giving it a depth that was as much about compromise as it was about innovation. So when we step into the realm of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, we aren't just dealing with a simple game. We're diving into a story that expanded the universe of Sonic, bringing in new characters, deeper plots, and a world that beckoned players to run faster and jump higher. This sequel didn't just raise the bar, it spun it around and turned it into a loop-de-loop. The game takes off where the original left us hanging on the edge of our seats, or should I say, the edge of our platforms?
I know I'm not on the list. Just please let me in. Are they playing Slipknot in there? Come on, man. I'm a huge Slipknotaholic.
Sonic returns to his home planet, finding it once again under the threat of the nefarious Dr. Robotnik, also known as Eggman. But this time, the stakes are higher. Robotnik is on a mission to collect the Chaos Emeralds to power up his new weapon, the Death Egg. A space station clearly nodding to a certain Star Wars saga, but with a lot more robots and significantly fewer Wookiees. Enter Miles Prower, better known as his nickname as Tails, named after his two distinctive tails that allow him to fly. Tails is not just a side character, he's a game changer. His introduction brought a new dynamic to the gameplay, allowing for a two-player cooperative mode that revolutionized how friends could play together. Tails was designed to be the ultimate sidekick, inspired by the supportive role that many of us had played at some point, backing up our friends in their quest to defeat their own personal Robotniks. But what makes Tails truly remarkable isn't just his ability to fly, it's his backstory. Although not heavily detailed in the game, Tails is portrayed as a young, mechanically gifted fox who idolizes Sonic. His intelligence and ability to use his two tails as a rotor to fly made him not just a companion, but an equal partner in Sonic's adventures. This added depth to the game's narrative, bringing a layer of friendship and camaraderie that taught players about loyalty and teamwork.
I guess I can't die.
That's fantastic. Saving the world is gonna be a snap.
That's all you, buddy.
My last ring!
Don't worry, I got this.
Tails, you did it! You stopped Robotnik and you saved the world!
I've truly been blessed.
The antagonist, Dr. Robotnik, is more menacing than ever. His goal to build the Death Egg and harness the power of the Chaos Emeralds puts the whole world at risk, setting up dramatic confrontations and challenging Sonic and Tails to thwart his plans at every turn. His character serves as a perfect foil to the Sonic heroism, providing a clear and present danger that is both relatable and fantastically outlandish. Now let's dive into the gameplay mechanics of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, where you're not just playing a game. You're mastering the art of speed with a sprinkle of strategy. This sequel didn't just take the formula of the original Sonic and hit the turbo button, it redefined everything, making gameplay smoother, faster, and way more dynamic. First up, let's talk the spin dash, folks. As mentioned earlier, it was introduced in this sequel. Sonic can now charge up a spin attack while stationary, releasing a burst of speed that can break barriers and zoom through enemies. It's like they gave Sonic a nitro boost but forgot to tell the bad guys, making every level a thrilling rush of adrenaline. But it's not just about speed. The game designers sprinkled the levels with puzzles and platforming challenges that require a bit of brain power. So, if you thought this was going to be a straightforward sprint to the finish line, think again. These strategic elements ensure players need to be quick on their feet and sharpen their thinking. Now, don't blink or you'll miss this next part. If you're enjoying this lightning-fast breakdown of Sonic's iconic moves, why not hit that like button and subscribe? It's quicker than a spin dash and ensures you won't miss our future gaming deep dives. Now back to the mechanics. Let's talk about the co-op mode with Tails. This feature allowed a second player to join the race against Robotnik. Tails can fly, carry Sonic, and even help snag some hard-to-reach items. This added a layer of cooperative strategy, making Sonic the Hedgehog 2 not just a solo adventure, but a shared one. The levels themselves are a masterpiece of design. From the aquatic runs to the casino night zones, each level offers unique obstacles and aesthetics, pushing the Genesis to its graphical limits. The developers carefully crafted these environments to challenge the player's reflexes and to encourage exploration, ensuring that the replay value was as high as Sonic's jumps. But when it comes to sales performance of Sonic 2, we're not just talking about a successful video game. We're talking about a phenomenon that raced through the early 90s with the force of a sonic boom. Released globally on November 21st in 1992, a date Sega famously dubbed Sonic Tuesday, the game became an instant commercial success, setting a precedent for worldwide synchronized game releases, a practice that is now standard in the industry. But let's put some numbers on that success, shall we? Sonic 2 sold over 6 million copies on the Sega Genesis alone, making it one of the best-selling games of the platform. This wasn't just a triumph, it was a testament to the character's massive appeal and the game's broader accessibility. Sega's Blue Blur wasn't just a mascot, he became a cultural icon, catapulting Sega into a position to seriously challenge Nintendo's dominance over the home console market. The game's impact stretched beyond sales figures. It influenced an entire generation of game design, with its fluid animation, tightly refined mechanics, and vibrant levels setting new standards for platformers. It wasn't just that kids wanted to play Sonic, they wanted to live in his fast-paced, exhilarating world, which led to the production of an animated series, comics, and a plethora of merchandise ranging from t-shirts to lunchboxes. Sonic became a symbol of the 90s gaming renaissance, embodying the era's push toward faster, more graphically dynamic video games. This was a time when arcade games were moving into living rooms, and Sonic was at the forefront, showing what was possible in terms of game speed and character charisma. Sega's marketing campaigns were just as bold and speedy as Sonic himself, with slogans that boasted about the game's pace and innovation, solidifying Sonic's cool, edgy persona, which contrasted sharply with Nintendo's more family-friendly Mario. But enough about performance, let's delve into some of the lesser-known facts that make this game a treasure trove for gamers who love digging a little deeper. First up, the Hidden Palace Zone. This was a level that didn't make it into the final release of the game due to time constraints, but it wasn't forgotten. Die-hard fans found traces of it in the game's code, leading to a widespread speculation and excitement. Years later, this lost level was fully integrated into the 2013 mobile re-release of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, finally giving players a glimpse into what could have happened. Another intriguing Easter egg is the presence of the infamous Ashura, a glitch character born from a palette error. Players discovered that by performing a series of actions in the debug mode. Sonic could transform into this green and black sprite. Ashura became a fan legend, sparking theories and fan fiction showcasing the community's creative engagement with the game. Did you know that Sonic 2 was originally intended to have a time travel element? Early in development, Sonic and Tails were supposed to travel through different time zones, influencing the game's environment based on the actions in the past. While this concept was eventually dropped in Sonic 2, it laid the groundwork for what would later become Sonic CD, another beloved title in the franchise. And lastly, the inclusion of Super Sonic, a transformation achieved by collecting all 7 Chaos Emeralds and 50 rings, was inspired by the Dragon Ball Z series, where characters transformed into more powerful states. This feature not only provided an additional challenge for players, but also rewarded them with new gameplay experience, adding replay value and depth to the overall game. Can we say Super Saiyan Sonic? And just like Sonic zipping through the loop-de-loop and off the screen, we come to a screeching halt. We've dashed through the development sagas, leaped over gameplay mechanics, and spun around cultural milestones. I hope you collected enough rings of knowledge to make it to your next gaming discussion with extra lives to spare. Until next time, keep those controllers charged and your reflexes sharper than spikes on a badnik. If you enjoyed racing through the halls of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, click this video here to see more from the Retro Reload. And as always, thank you for watching.